Shabbat Shalom, this is Larry Mitchell with Friends of Israel. Today we continue our verse-by-verse study through the Apocalypse of Jesus Christ, the book of the Revelation. This morning we are starting at Revelation 18, 5 and 6. For her sins have reached into heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Render to her just as she rendered to you, and repay her double according to her works. In the cup she is mixed double for her. We've been looking at Revelation 17 and 18. We have seen that Revelation 17 reference to Babylon mystery religion, the city that is centered in 7 hills, a reference to the city of Rome. Revelation chapter 18 is not Rome, it's a great port city. It is the economic center of the world. And here in Revelation 18:5, we see her sins have reached to heaven. Well, number one, through the influence of Hollywood, corrupt politicians, liberal media, and liberal education, America, and I would include Canada here, has become the center of pornography, homosexuality, drug addictions, and crime. Dr. J. Vernon McGee wrote this: Babylon has a long history of accumulated sins, and God has the record. It is one of the oldest cities in the history of mankind, and is probably mentioned more than any other city in the Bible, with the exception of Jerusalem. Finally, judgment breaks out like a flood upon this city and its system. The judgment of God may be delayed, but it is sure. It may seem to us that the unbeliever is getting by with sin, but God's judgment is coming. For her sins have reached to heaven. Babylon tried to build a tower to the heavens. Genesis 11, 3 and 4. Then they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. Ancient literal Babylon wanted to build a tower, a ziggurat, for their gods, as stated in Genesis 11:4. Here her mystical counterpart piled with her sins unto heaven, an affront to the thrice holy God of heaven and earth. While it is indicated God has remembered her iniquity, it is not that he had forgotten them previously. It is a biblical way of stating that the hour of reckoning and judgment had arrived. That's a quote from the King James Bible commentary. There may be an allusion to the Manhattan skyscrapers, an allegory for man trying to build a highway to heaven. We would do well to meditate on the words of the late Keith Green. Like a foolish dreamer trying to build a highway to the sky, all my hopes would come tumbling down, and I never knew just why. And that's from his song, Your Love Broke Through. I believe 9/11 was a wake-up call. What happened on September 11, 2001 is a small-scale foreshadow of what will happen to Babylon the Great during the tribulation period. Revelation 18:11. Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour your judgment has come. Revelation 18:7. In the measure that she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, in the same measure give her torment and sorrow, for she says in her heart, I sit as a queen, and am no widow, and will not see sorrow. One of the main tourist attractions in New York City, and what New York City is basically symbolized by, is the Statue of Liberty. Is this a reference to the Statue of Liberty? I believe it may be so. Statue of Liberty stands in the harbor. It was a gift to America by the French Freemasons. And this is from the Phoenix Freemasonry. It's on an article about Statue of Liberty being given to New York City or to America by the French Freemasons. Situated at the entrance of New York Harbor stands one of the most important symbols of American liberty, the Statue of Liberty. It was a gift from the French people to the United States as a token of mutual friendship. Its designer, a Freemason, was Brother Frederick A. Bartholdi, who conceived its design while on a visit to America. As the ship sailed into New York, Bartholdi had a vision of a woman standing on a pedestal holding a torch and welcoming immigrants to a new life in a free land. Along with Brother Bartholdi, Brother Gustav Eiffel was also responsible for the statue. Brother Eiffel designed and built the framework which holds the copper sheeting in that place. Frederick Bartholdi was one of the early members of the Lodge Alsace-Lorraine, Paris, which was composed of prominent intellectuals, writers, and government representatives. When his famous statue, Liberty Enlightening the World, was achieved, Bartholdi convened his lodge to review it even before the statue was shown to the U.S. committee. On June 19, 1884, the lodge, as it were, a pilgrimage, sent a body to review its masterpiece. On July 4, 1884, the finished statue was presented to American ambassador in Paris, Levi Morton. On August 5, 1884, then the Grand Master Masons in New York, William Brodie, laid the cornerstone of the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty Enlightening the World with full Masonic ceremony. On November 13, 1884, Bartholdi delivered a lecture and gave the lodge a report on the history and various methods used in the execution of the statue. Again, the lodge witnessed this emotion when he came back from his visit to the United States in 1887, and he told them of the ardent welcome he received and the wide enthusiasm created by his work. You know, the Freemasons are a satanic cult. To quote Albert Pike, this is what he wrote, and that we must say to the crowd is, we worship a God, but it is the God that one adores without superstition. To you, Supreme Grand Inspectors General, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd and 31st and 30th degree. The Masonic religion should be, by all its initiative, of a high degree maintained in the purity of Luciferic doctrines. And that's a quote from En Route to Global Occupation by Gary Kaw. Revelation 18:8, it says, therefore her plagues will come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she will be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judges her. On September 11, 2001, New York City, in a very small scale, experienced what will happen to Babylon the Great at the end of the tribulation period. Shabbat Shalom. This is Larry Mitchell.